Hi, I'm Lori Milroy of Kurdistan 24's Washington, D.C. Bureau. We are here at the State Department to speak with Ambassador Sam Brownback. He is Ambassador at Large for International Religious Freedom. Ambassador Brownback, thank you very much for joining us.
Sure.
You just hosted the second Ministerial on International Religious Freedom. How do you see the results of that conference?
I see them very positive. We're really trying to get a global movement launched, both at the grassroots and the governmental level. So we set objectives of having 100 religious freedom roundtables in various countries and cities. We've got about 20 of those going. So we think that there's good momentum there at the grassroots level. That was the first 2 days. And then the governmental level, we announced an International Religious Freedom Alliance. Had 105 countries here at the overall ministerial, and we want to get like-minded nations together to pursue at the governmental level religious freedom with an international body specifically dedicated to it. And that's at the initial stages, but we think is promising, and we believe it'll happen.
I think that's very important. I was very impressed by your explanation of how religious freedom was a basic pillar that fit into a more general kind of freedom and prosperity.
It does. It's really, in a sense, a gateway freedom. You get this one right, and there tends to be an expansion of a series of others. Like freedom of expression and religion, you really can't do separately. They have to be together, or freedom of assembly. But it's also a gateway to a stronger economy, and it's a gateway to really a healthier society and less terrorism, and we see that in the data. So this is one of those that if we can get governments to agree and to pursue it, you're going to see a bigger expansion. On the contrary, we see where this declines, we see decline in a lot of other human rights and also in economic activities.
That seems a very important insight. How does the Kurdistan region fit into this concept?
The Kurds have been great, really, in a region that's been fraught with difficulty on religious persecution. They have been an outstanding region that has supported religious minorities, people of all faiths, no faith. They really have been an island in a sea of difficulty, and I really applaud them for their efforts. Of course, like everybody else, they're not perfect, but they have been an oasis for people that have been persecuted in that region.
The Middle East is indeed a difficult region. The Kurdistan Parliament just recognized August 3rd as Yazidi Genocide Remembrance Day. How do you see that in terms of religious freedom?
Well, first I really commend the Kurdish regional government and the parliament for recognizing this. The Yazidis were persecuted very nearby the Kurdish region, and many of them fled to the Kurdish region to be able to find sanctuary. So I applaud them for doing this. I think this is a positive step forward to recognize the differences of people's faith. And say this should be celebrated, and it should be supported, and it should be protected, and we'll stand up and do that.
And many of the internally displaced persons in the Kurdistan region are from religious minorities. The last time you visited there, you explained afterwards that their home areas were still unsafe and not secure, and that was a big problem. The Pentagon just issued an Inspector General's report that says that problem persists, particularly in the territories that are disputed between the Kurdistan regional government and Baghdad. Do you think there needs to be more coordination, more effective coordination between the Peshmerga and the Iraqi security forces to address that problem so that these minorities can go back to their home areas?
Absolutely. The United States government and many other governments and private entities have invested a lot of money in rebuilding the area destroyed by ISIS, that Nineveh Plain region. The U.S. has put over $300 million. Other groups have stepped up as well, the Hungarian government and private sector groups, the Polish government. But it will not long-term be sustainable or grow until the security issues dealt with. And that's the one we're still lacking, a robust security answering to the problem. Unfortunately, it could get volatile again. So that's why there has to be greater coordination if this region is going to prosper again. And it can be. It's a strong region. It's got great cultural ties. It's got a number of very positive things to offer, but the security piece of the equation has to be addressed.
Well, thank you very much, Ambassador Brownback, for joining us this morning.
Yeah, happy to do it. Thank you.
Thank you for being with us for our discussion with Ambassador Sam Brownback at the State Department. We hope to see you next time.